Good evening and welcome to Hipstamatic 101. This is a training class that focuses on an introductory level of the iPhone app Hipstamatic. Before class, you should have obtained an iPhone 3S or above and the Hipstamatic app. Now, in case you don't know, we're going to tell you a little bit about what Hipstamatic is. Hipstamatic is a digital photo editing and sharing app for the iPhone that aims to emulate the look and feel of an antique analog camera. You can select or purchase other films and lenses to help increase the variations of your photos. Now, the most important thing that we're going to learn today about Hipstamatic is that it is fun and easy to use. Now, a little bit about myself. My name again is Mandy Love, and I have a website where you can download our little cheat sheets and see this video live again if you'd like to rewatch it. I am a Hipstamatic photographer and have been since 2008. My photos have been shown in galleries such as IAO on Film Road. I've been in shows like Biting the Apple. I'm a member of OVAC, and I have given lectures on my photography of Hipstamatic through the Oklahoma City Museum of Art. Again, you can check me out and more of my information, more of my photography at mandylove.com, and the slideshow, the cheat sheet, which you can get, and a way to contact me if you have any questions. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to dive into the iPhone application. This right here is the iPhone icon. So when you open up your iPhone, you will see the Hipstamatic logo right there by my finger. And all you do to launch it is to simply click on it. Now when you click on it, you're automatically taken to the back of the camera, as we like to call it. And so next we're going to, before we dive into how to use it and what all this on the back of the camera is, I'm going to kind of go through some of the terms for you. And these are also available for download. There's the viewfinder, which is just that. It's the part of the camera right here that shows you exactly where your photo will be, what photo you'll take. Then there's the shutter button, this yellow button right here. And there's a flash. The flash is just that. It just as on any camera. It adds a pop of light to enhance the photo, especially in dimly lit places. There's a frame icon on the back. The frame icon allows you to that's where you go to view your photos. Again, we're going to dive into more of this in a little bit. I'm just kind of going over the terms with you. Then there's favorites, so you can mark your favorite combinations. You can mark your favorite film, lens, flash combos for easy access to take later photos. Then there's the camera front. By the click of a button, and if you'll look on your little icons and what they do, there's a little arrow, and the arrow is down on the right-hand side of the application. And here, I'll pull back up so you can see. And this little arrow, by clicking on it, will take you to the front of the camera. And then there's the film window. The film window just allows you to see what film you're currently using. Again, we're going to dive into this stuff a little bit. These are just the basic terms that I wanted to go over with you real quick. Now, the first thing we see, as I said, when you launch is the back of the camera. So if you're looking at your Hipstamatic camera, you will see the yellow shutter button. And the shutter button, you just click on it, and whatever's in the viewfinder right here, that is what the photo will take. There's also another way to take photos with it, and that's if you double click on your eye on your viewfinder. As you see, it becomes a larger view of the picture, and so then you will just tap it. It takes the photo and takes you back to the back of the camera. Then you see next to the little frame, there's a 1 now. That's telling me I have one photo to develop. So just tap or double click the viewfinder and take a picture. Very, very simple stuff. The shutter button was the other way that you take the picture. It's a big yellow button. This little slide thing right here is the flash. Now, there's two different kinds of flash. There's the emulation of a flash. So when you click on it, it looks like flash, but it's not an actual flash. That just kind of, and here, if I take a picture with that on, did you see the little flash of light? Okay, it didn't really use a flash. It's just going to, whatever flash I pick, it's going to kind of give that simulation on the photo. Now then you can slide it the complete opposite way, and you'll actually use the flash. Now the flash on your iPhone is going to take a little bit longer, so you'll want to take the picture, wait a minute for the flash to take, and then the photo will take. Very, very easy. Now the film window here, it's kind of harder to see. I have a different background than the default one which you see on the cheat sheet. And the reason that it's different is I liked that it was more crisp and easier to see since we're doing this via video. But there's your favorite icon. There's the frame. Right now we're green, good to go. And then there's to the front of the camera. This little arrow right here, if I click it, it takes me to the front of the camera. Now the front of the camera, we have our flash, which is not an actual flash. It just gives a simulation of a flash. We have our viewfinder, which is kind of like if you saw the front of the camera where you stick your little eye at the front of it. That's that. And then you have, now this is kind of important right here. See these 3 different yellow buttons? These are going to be your photo size. So if you want the smaller photo size, say you're only going to use these photos on social media, then clearly you would be totally fine and you'd want to use the smaller dot. This is going to make a smaller photo, won't take as much room on your phone, and it also will not take as long to develop. Now if you want to go a little bit bigger, maybe you do want to print them bigger than just a 4x4, which I have a 4x4 printed Hipstamatic print. That's the size of a 4x4. So on a small photo, if you have it on the small setting, you can print one of these this size if you're happy with that. But mainly I'd use that if it's for photo share. Now if you go to the medium size, you're going to take a little bit bigger photo, and you possibly get up to an 8x8 with that. But if you really want to make some big ones, 30x30 may be a really cute photo, family photo or that sort of thing, then you want to go with the bigger one. It's going to take up a lot more space on your iPhone, excuse me, and it's also going to take longer to develop. So if you're snapping photos fast, then you may not want that larger photo. Now, we also down here, or here we go, here's our lens that we're currently using. If I click on it, it tells me that everything I want to know about. What pack it came from. Normally when you buy film on Hipstamatic, it usually comes with a film and a lens. Sometimes it comes with a case, and sometimes it comes with a flash. But when you click on it, it tells you what pack it came from, and it'll give you an example of people's photos taken with that. And then it'll tell you the combination of what photo and film was used. Well, all you have to do when you're complete with that is click Done, which will be up on this side of the screen, and it takes you back to the front of the camera. Now, if you want to change your lens, simply swipe back and forth until you find the lens you want. Any lens you want, double click on it to get more info, and push Done when you're complete. Next we have is the flash. You have your standard flash, but then there's also other options of flash. I don't use my flash a lot. I actually like the look of the dimly lit, but if you prefer to use the flash, you have variations of what you can use. When I do use one, my favorite is the Dream Pop, or I'd say the Dream Pop or the green one. Again, click on it, tells you all the info about it, and then you turn it off. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Dream Pop because when I do use, that's the main one I use. Now I'm going to click Done, and it's going to take me back once again to the front of the camera. Now next to the flash, we have the case. It looks like a little tiny camera case. If you click on that, you can slip through and get different types of camera faces. This is just more of a preference of what you prefer to see. You don't really need it. But if you like variety, this is good. You know, maybe plain black's not your personality. There are various that you can do. And then next to this is a shopping cart. If you click on the shopping cart, it takes you to camera gear. And there's various camera gears. And as you flip through, it'll show you what you own with a green ticket. That's mine. I do not own that one. But I do own that and that. So you can go through and you can purchase these things to add more variety to your film and lens choices. Then you have your categories. Again, it'll tell you more information if you click on it. And then you have a print lab. And on your print lab, I apologize. I kind of went ahead and got ahead of myself here. But when you get to the print lab, you can choose to print directly from your Hipstamatic app. All you have to do is click on order prints, and you can see there's 4-inch prints, 7-inch, 10-inch, or 30-inch prints. Walgreens have also made where you can download or upload Hipstamatic photos from your phone through the Walgreens app, and they'll print them in the Hipstamatic sizes, and usually you can have them done within an hour. So if you don't want to wait for them to be shipped, I prefer Walgreens.com or the Walgreens app. Next to that is analog, and this just allows you to purchase it's Hipstamatic gear, but it's like t-shirts or phone cases, that sort of thing. Oh. And then your last little button here is going to be your downloads. I currently don't have anything downloading, but if you're purchasing a new lens or film, it'll show you in the downloads here. It also gives you an option. Let's say you lose your iPhone, you have to install your iPhone or whatever the case. You can simply restore your purchases by clicking up here. Click restore, and it'll download all your previous purchases. So if you do buy quite a few films or whatnot, you don't have to worry about losing them. Now when you click done, it takes you back again. We're still in the front of the camera. You simply click the same arrow you clicked on the back, and you get the back of the camera. So you're back to the back of the camera. Now other things that you might want to do with this is I want to talk about how easy it is to share on social media. All you have to do is go to your frame, down there at the bottom, down at the right. If you go to your frame right here, you click on this little frame, it takes you to your photos, all the photos that you've taken. All you have to do is click on one of them, and then when you click on them, it gives you the date and the place it was taken. And then you have this little, what looks like a stamp up here in your left-hand corner. If you click on that, it shows you the information, such as it shows my flash was off, what lens I used, what film I used, and the date I was taking it. And so it even says taken at the Adventure District on September 29th, 2014. All I have to do is click on this little favorite settings, and then I currently have this set as a favorite, so I can either match settings or remove it as my favorite. If you don't have it as your favorite, instead of remove favorite, I would say add to favorites. And just cancel all that, and you're done. And then every time you take a Hipstamatic photo, it automatically downloads it to your camera roll. So you have it on your Hipstamatic app, and then it's also on your camera roll. If for some reason you delete it and want to go back, you have the option to save to library again by clicking this button right here. On the right hand side, you click on it, resave to library or cancel. I'm going to cancel out of that. And then we have this little arrow with and what that does is that takes you directly to social media. And as you see down at the bottom, you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that sort of thing. You simply type in any message you want, and you go ahead and click share when you're done. If it's your first time, it's going to ask for permission to use your social media, but it's that simple. You can share to all social media at one time. So it's very convenient and fun. Just cancel all that if you don't want to. Then you click on that again, date, where I took it, the camera option, delete or print. So if you wanted to print, takes you in, you can order prints. Again, I don't normally order through Hipstamatic for my prints just because it takes a little bit longer than I'm willing to wait for them. So, just as we go through a quick little recap here, I almost forgot an important detail. It's not important, but it's a fun one. So, a Hipstamatic has what we call shake to randomize. What shake to randomize does is just that. You shake your iPhone, and you get a new lens. Take your photo, and you have no idea what you're going to get. You just take the photo, and then boom, you get a new look. You can do it as many times as you want. You never know what film, what type of lens, or what type of flash you're going to get with that. So you have to be willing to lose a little bit of control over your photos and just do it more for fun. but it's very interesting, and you can actually get some really good shots that way. Now, if you're not a fan of that, you can go into your settings and change that. Now, the settings aren't through Hipstamatic, they are through Apple, through your general Apple settings. So you would go to your settings here, click on your settings, and then you would scroll down, and you would go to all the way down to your Hipstamatic. So you're still in settings, and you scroll down to your Hipstamatic app, click on Hipstamatic, and see how it might have shake to randomize as green. All I would have to do is change that, and it takes that off. You can also ask it, you can tell it to autosave to your library or not. You can put in a artist's name. So there are all kinds of things you can do. You can even choose to show tips in through your general settings. Again, this is through your Apple settings, not through your Hipstamatic settings. So that allows you to have a little bit more control if you're not a fan of shake to randomize, because if you leave the Hipstamatic app up and you have shake to randomize on, then what happens is as you're walking, it'll change the film. Some people, like I said, don't like it. I think that it's a lot of fun. Overall, we'll kind of do a really quick, I do apologize that I kind of flipped around some of the training, but we'll recap real quick to kind of go over what we learned today in our Hipstamatic training. We learned that the yellow shutter button takes the photos. I mean, that's really all you need to know. You can easily change lenses, flash, and film. Again, we went through all that, how easy it is to swipe and pick. Share easily on social media. You can shake to randomize to make things fun. You can print directly from the app. I do apologize. You can print directly from the app. But I think what's most important that we understand today is that Hipstamatic is made to be fun. Not every single photo that you take with Hipstamatic means you're going to love it. Sometimes I delete photos. But just have fun with it, play with it, learn it. If you have any questions, visit my website at mandylove.com. Shoot me an email, download any of the tips that you've learned today, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for listening.